Oh, there's Timmy. Now I see Timmy.
All right.
Okay.
Recap.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna recap. Now the fucked up. All right. So more or less, we started last session by teleporting into the keep. There was some back and forth in which a certain party member tried to stay back, and we promptly informed her, yeah, no, not fucking happening. You don't get to do a quick, no. That's not a quick conversation. That's a long
Tyler done
conversation.
fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. So, teleported to the keep for lovely dwarven man.
Mitchell Keep, I believe it was.
Yeah. Mitchell Keep. Fuck. Bronneville. That's his name. Got here because he was told, hey, said Daggle, dude kicked off the councils, knocking at your door, threatening to come in with Black Dragon. We shut up. There was talking between the two of them. Alyssa confirmed, yes, there is a Black Dragon in the area, which immediately made us go, oh, not empty threats. Cool. Cecile handed off the Black Dragon mask to Hydru. Cecile went, yeah, I'm not a talker, here you go. Then I believe Hydrun came around the corner. Around the same time, the
Like a
Black
badass.
Dragon dropped down. There was a lot of talking between Daggle and Bronneville and Hydrun. Around this time, Nyla scooted up towards where Thunderspells was, because Cecile was like, hey, we're gonna try and, contain Daggle and this dragon, but there's still a fucking army back there too. But they're from Centauros. So go try to talk to your people. Maybe. Try to start putting some doubt in their brains while we do this. Stuff ended up kicking off in the fact that Hydrun managed to grab command-ish of the Black Dragon, so it backed off a bit, which made Daggle go, what the fuck? And then Daggle's mind was more or less taken over by Severin? Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Severin came in to be the narcissistic, cocky man that he is, to then counter Hydrun's control over the Black Dragon, causing said dragon to still release a breath at Nyla. Around that time was when, I think, Timbers... Oh yeah, so before Severin fully took control, Timbers came around and did Gias
Yes.
on Daggle to take control of Daggle, to make it so Hydrun was only having to contend with the Black Dragon and keeping it from attacking. And Daggle was under control up until Severin came in. It was like, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. Dragon attacked, which kicked off Alyssa and Cecile busting through the doors. So we're like, yeah, no, this is not good. Managed to do enough damage to Daggle that Severin just kind of knocked him out and dropped him on the ground and left, but then hopped into the Black Dragon's brain. But then we did a good chunk of damage to the Black Dragon, and Severin was like, yeah, I'm not staying here either. There was a lot of showboating, evil villain monologues to it. Eventually, once Severin left, I don't think it was good control, because Severin's got control over the Red Dragons, I believe, for the most part. He doesn't have the Black Dragon mask. We've got that, so I don't think the control was great there. So he couldn't stay in there long, but realized he wasn't necessarily going to win the fight, so he left, which prompted the Black Dragon to be like, yeah, fuck this, I'm leaving.
Fuck this shit, I'm
I
out.
think Hydrun might have convinced it to leave. Maybe. Hydrun got the name.
I got the name.
I got the name.
Skizzy
Around
like the brute.
that same time, Daggle was still unconscious. Nyla, who had gotten shot at by said dragon, kept talking to her people, which was amplified thanks to thunder spells. Talking to the army. More or less convinced the army to lay down arms, and did the offer of, we've got Raven's Watch,
Yes.
and offered Raven's Watch as a place to go if they didn't want to go back to Centauros. Nyla, welcome to there and welcome to go back to Centauros. And we determined that we were going to stay here and just party for a bit for the night, because we'd been hopping from one hot mess to another a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, we figured we'd crash here tonight and then go back to Raven's Watch to do a check-in there, and also figure out where the fuck Kirk went
Yeah.
planning. So I think that sums it up pretty good. Yeah, it was a lot of various willpower type things,
Yeah.
more or less. This
And
Battle of
I-
Wills, not so much fighty fight. There was some fighty fight, but
Not a lot though.
and then yeah, I think that. Oh right, other important thing. Daggle was fairly normal-ish, and then started talking with Felros, who had him sign a contract, the same contract Cecile did. Thunderspells dispelled that one, and commented that each time he destroys one of the contracts, the overarching, or the undercurrent that still exists in Cecile with this contract is it's within Cecile and anybody else who had this contract is getting weaker. So Thunderspells believes to fully eradicate the bad side to this thing, we got to destroy all 4. I believe 4 is the magic number total to destroy, and we've gotten 2. Mine and Daggle's have been done. Pretty sure Sledge has one, or someone Sledge works for has one, and then we've got one where we don't know who has that contract,
Yeah.
as far as I'm aware, which we can look into later. But
Daggle
yeah.
found out that he's missed an entire year because of Severin.
Yeah, between Severin and the contract with Felros, not good. Yeah. So, I believe we still have Daggle bound and shit like that.
No, Daggle's getting a damn drink.
He's
If I
getting
remember.
a drink, but Cecile is still also of the mindset we need to stick him under a truth spell and get all the information out of him to make sure that the stuff that might have fucked him over wasn't already in line with what he wanted to do. Granted, most of the reports say he drastically changed. It was kind of a light switch thing where he used to act one way and have a lot of, had earned a lot of respect within Waterdeep. And then this light switch thing happened and he went off the deep end around the time Felros was coming into the picture, I believe, right, Timmy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a good chance, yes, he was severely mind-fucked, but Cecile trusts literally nothing these days due to the overarching magic user. So Cecile's keeping an eye on him, because trust but verify. So, yeah.
Yeah. So you
I think
guys,
for now we're just partying.
party hardied for a couple of days as the armies
figured
and
a day.
people.
A day or 2, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, basically a day to rest and then day to start prepping. This is end of day 2. You guys are now back at the city, just kind of scattered about, doing y'all's thing.
Can I assume that the mask is now attuned to me? Or not yet?
If not entirely. But if you work, are you going to work with it at all during the?
I mean, I was good wearing it since after the fight just to be able to try to attune to it.
Trying to wear it immediately after the fight wouldn't get you anywhere. It doesn't want to cooperate at this time.
Hmm.
Like you did enough to burn it out a little bit. It needs some time to rest.
Damn. Okay.
But yeah,
Oh yeah,
we'll
you
throw.
forced it. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of pushed it beyond its current ability at that point.
Okay.
To where it kind of gave out. It's not like it's dead or anything like that. It's just, and it has a cooldown bit on it.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, you guys have all scattered about. You guys had like a day of drink and rest, and then another day of prep. As the dwarven armies, well, kind of like the combination between the dwarven armies, the Centauros army that wanted to continue the fight. A lot of it had split up between going back to Centauros, going to Blackfall, or continuing with the group as they were preparing to march to the Misty Forest. It'd probably be about midday when you guys hear a dwarven horn above the main gates, kind of signifying that everybody is ready to assemble to begin the march. And for those that come out of rooms or establishments, wherever you guys might be at that moment, you'll see up by between the portal and the main gates, you got Thunderspells, Bronavil, and Daggle up there just talking.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
have you guys spent your
so-
last? Have you guys spent your
Go
last
ahead,
couple of
that's
days?
Since I noticed that my Deathlands actually needs attunement, I actually would like to take some time to try and tune with it.
Huh?
Talia is
Oh no.
You mean Nyla?
or Nyla. Sorry, brain is
Wrong game.
not focused.
Wrong game.
Nyla is gonna like just walk down the stairs, kind of like just examine everything that's happened, and she's gonna like make her way down towards the bridge area. And it's like, she tall enough to like look over the bridge, or
Yeah.
what she'll do is she'll like kind of lean over the bridge, looking out wherever the is going, and just quietly stare to herself, thinking of all that's happened.
You do that for 2 days.
Yeah, she'll probably
That's
just
what Tim asked.
yeah.
How have you
She'll probably
spent the
just,
last
like-
couple of days? Just staring at the water? Cool.
Yeah, just on like thinking mostly. She's in like a meditation thought process.
Oh, chicken less, so there goes that roll.
CC is most likely telling the story of what happened to Alita. Like the gunfire when like before she turned around and saw everything. For the first day he's talking about this is what I saw, this is what everyone did. Like giving the rundown.
Oh, like catching her up on what the group's done.
Yeah.
catching them up on what the group's done before she joined.
Mm-hmm.
Or they
Yeah.
joined.
Yeah, poor girl
No, that's
joined
not
and
an
then
idea.
yeah, because the poor girl joined and then got thrown into torture scenarios.
But it's not being as gruesome as the story tells of what we've done.
Yeah, this group's done a lot.
Yeah. Once Cece is finishing Alita what's going on, she's gonna send off a couple of messages to home, make sure her parents know, hey, Dad, I promise. I don't regret leaving. I haven't found what I'm looking for yet, but I don't regret leaving.
All right. How has everybody
That's
else spent their
amusing.
time?
I don't regret leaving.
There's still Sammy and then there's Country. Those two are left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Cecile's been keeping an eye on Nyla, but also keeping an eye on Daggle. Because, again, until Thunder Spells can fully, corroborate, because, yeah, we can do Zone of Truth, but in Cecile's mind, if the particular sorceress witch from the Phala Wilds was involved in any of his, nonsense, then a lower level spell might not cut it, depending on how deep the mental control went. So until Thunder Spells, it's I've checked all I can, and as far as I can tell, what he's saying is truth, kind of. Cecile's keeping an eye on him, because who the fuck knows? Also don't know if Severin can come back and take over his brain again.
Right.
He left him, sure, but then he hopped into a dragon, so who's to say he can't come back and hop into his brain again? So yeah, Cecile's just kind of keeping an eye on him closely.
Hadrian's just kind of been taking in the sights of the city, learned some stuff about the city and that.
Okay. Yeah. So I kind of have Drew and Alyssa. They're kind of off walking, talking kind of thing. Cecile, yeah, would probably be sticking close to everything. The last few days has pretty much been Dagult and Thunderspells talking, trying to clear up the air on what had happened, and Thunderspells trying a couple of different rituals to see if he can't detect any other traces of everything that had been happening. In the meantime, people would occasionally come up to him and regale him of what had happened in the last however long. Brian Evil sent word back to Waterdeep explaining everything that had happened. And I know that Alyssa at some point would have probably received a few ravens with not just maybe one message, but several messages of, hey, it's been hard to find you, but here you are. Just relatively updates from our favorite Harbin. Harbin Wister. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we get to it's the chicken. Chicken at your earliest convenience. I need a wisdom save.
Mm. That's right. He's attuning to a thing, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Trying to. But while we were waiting for that wisdom save, yeah. Do you guys hear the horn sound as the populace that are fighting, if they haven't already set up, go grab the last of their gear and equipment and start heading out towards the marching fields? When you guys finally get to where the trio of them are standing near the portal, the doors to the city are wide open, and you can see this long, massive, what looks to be train of just people and carts and horses and all sorts of different materials. Some carts are loaded with weapons and gear and armor, and you got other carts that look like to be loaded with lumber and stones and different various material. Food is in a bunch of carts. You got different protection details that are walking around the carts and whatnot, as they're not only planning on helping the attack, but to help resource Melindrock whenever they get there.
So just
Okay.
large train of people.
Yeah. Droves in comparison to other thing. That as you guys are slowly getting back to the main group, he's all welcoming you guys to join, and there's a couple of wagons specifically set up for the Slayers to travel along. It's going to be a couple of day journey to get there completely.
Okay.
How many days exactly?
2 days of steadily travel. The caravan's pretty much going to be nonstop. Other than pausing for horses and whatnot, you can tell that the caravan is designed to basically slow moving but nonstop all the way.
So rotations for.
Rotations for drivers and guards and walking patrols to swap out with carts and wagons, and there's a couple of low dragging carts. Will look a little weird, but they house a couple of like backup horses that get dragged along, so that when the horses get too tired, they can pause long enough to swap them out and then get going again. A lot of this whole dwarven setup is designed to be, it's going to be a slow chugging train, but it's going to basically go all through the night and everything too.
Right. Okay.
Rather than constantly stopping, setting up camp, and then marching again by midday. So, once everybody...
And I'll look at Alyssa and Hydroon. So, do we go back to the keep, or do we march with them? How big of a marching force is this?
You gathered about 25,000 troops.
Okay.
Yeah.
About 15,000 are dwarves alone.
15,000 are dwarves alone.
You want to say that
So
again?
then another 10,000 of various Centauros troops.
Centaurus troops and whatever other groups that the dwarves have been able to call for aid, kind of thing. The neighboring towns and cities and villages.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Are all of the Centauros force going, or no?
No. Only maybe a third have decided to stay fighting. Even out of that third, a lot of them has also said that once the fighting's done, they'll go to Blackfall. Only about a third of the entire group has decided to go completely back to Centauros. And then there's another small chunk of the Centauros force that you guys met up with that kind of just disbanded for now. They're not quite sure what they're doing. They're like just kind of like, fuck this place, we out.
Yeah.
Okay. How long is the walk from Centauros to here? It's not very long, is it?
About a day.
Okay.
They're very close neighbors.
Hence the mobilization that they had.
Yep.
More than likely, if Nyla hasn't been talking to the group going back, which I don't know, she's been very contemplative. I will probably talk with them because I want to know how fucked is that city. Like, you can put this in part of the 2-day thing, because I assume it didn't take Thunderspell's 2 days to determine the level of, potential corruption in Daggle.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
No, yeah.
So part of the 2 days then would be Cecile trying to find info of how fucked over is Centauros after Phil Ross's takeover. Like, Phil Ross took over. What is the state of that area?
Or a lot of the farmlands have become swamplands. The castle's in disarray, as you guys knew. And a lot of the surviving town have either been abandoned or ruined or converted into things for the cult. That it no longer looks like the shining city that Nyla used to talk about is in complete disarray. It's going to take a long time, if not repopulate in a different area to bring it back to glory.
Going back to Centauros. Are any of them, like, I guess a follow-up question would be, how many people actually remained in the main city of Centauros? Because, like, we were at the castle, sure.
Yeah.
But, like, whatever remains there, like, was there anybody else left there when we were there? Or
There's
did
probably like
literally everyone get sent marching?
There's probably like a scattered, maybe a few hundred. Most of them like women and children and older gents that couldn't fight. That are just trying to survive at that point.
Just surviving. Yeah. Okay.
So all the non-combatants.
Yeah. And a lot of those of the fighting force that decided to go back are basically like, it's just going to be clean up and try to rebuild. Try to clean up the mess that it was left in.
Okay, and I guess the other part of this line of questioning is also, Nyla gave a hell of a speech, was like, so Cecile's like, the vibes of, are they receptive to Nyla going back, or are they kind of hitting that point of like, no, we want no monarchy or patriarchy, because shit got fucked over numerous times, and we don't want any of that, is what Cecile's trying to determine.
They are a little bit unsure, because they've pretty much just had good monarchy that went bad and then got worse. Because after the death of the Twin Bells and Fucknuts' rise to power.
Right.
Granted, he rose to power with the help of the cult that was constantly trying to coerce the people. He got a lot of what he wanted, and the people are kind of feeling a little betrayed now that they know what happened. They're not necessarily looking for a ruler at this moment. They're just trying to They're just trying to rebuild their lives.
Get their
Because
lives back in order.
Cecile knows what Nyla's been itching towards. So
Mhm.
Cecile's kind of doing the checking in with the people who are here so that she could better help Nyla make a good decision about what to do. Because
If Cecile asks around, if Cecile's gonna ask around like those that are stating that, hey, we're resting and then we're going back home kind of thing, that they don't, a lot of the emotional ties to that city is none of them have any disrespect for Nyla, but it's that you can tell that there's that thought of, well, it's nice that she's here now, but where was she? Kind of feel throughout the populace.
and you can't exactly explain that overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
okay, I think
similar to Thunderspell's trying to figure out what happened with Dagult, you got an entire city that it's going to take time to warm up
Yeah.
to something.
Okay. I think that gives me the info Cecile needs to better give advice to Nyla, which is honestly tracking with the advice she was gonna give her anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. So yeah, so we're grouping up here. I'm basically gonna look at Alyssa and Hydroon and be like, so our options are we march with them, which might be for the best. And then once we get there and they've helped supply Melindrock, like I'll look at Thunderspells and Bronevil and be like, is the plan to meet up with Melindrock and then join the fighting, or are we going in to just start attacking immediately?
At the moment, they're not sure.
Okay.
On the day that you guys start heading out, Thunderspells has been trying to get contact from the Misty Forest to try to see, let them know, hey, we're on our way. What and where is
Right.
What's the status? So they're kind of like winging it. They're like, well, we're just gonna go. We're gonna go to Melindrock's castle. We'll figure out what we need to do when we get there.
Okay. Follow up: has Cecile ever been to Melindrock's castle or anywhere in that woods?
Not necessarily, because they're incredibly secretive.
Yeah.
And Melindrock's castle is kind of that whole hidden within the trees kind of deal.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, if you see it, holy crap, but you could wander that entire forest for days and not even know that there's an entire elven kingdom in there.
Okay.
So Cecile probably knows of it, has probably talked about it, probably been in the forest, but has probably not seen the castle itself.
Because my caveat was teleporting us in before this march gets there, and then like leaving something of importance to add kind of as like a lodestone with this group to teleport back to if we need to. But if I don't have a solid spot there, then teleport becomes sketchy.
You could easily teleport yourself or a group of people into the forest, but it's still that questionable where specifically do you land and what.
I can get us to the forest. Where in the forest? No.
Nobody.
Because it's not just, I mean, the Misty Forest isn't just a good name. The Misty Forest is quite literally like misty. There's like some weird arcane and natural, fable shit that,
Silent hill
Sissy
shit.
refers to.
like, you know,
Huh?
Cecile can probably explain that, you know, the area is skewed. Alita probably can help Cecile explain a lot of it too when
Yeah.
it comes to the Misty Forest. Is like, you could go in the one direction. You could have a map go, I am here, walk one direction, and you don't end up taking that path.
Correct.
So you kind of have to know your way around, and even then, a lot of times those own populace will
Yeah.
sometimes get lost.
Yeah. Cecile's like, I've done training sessions there. I felt like they were in the same spot, and yet the journey took different amounts of time each time. So take that into consideration. So, which is probably why the dragon and that force hasn't fully taken over the forest, because, like,
Yeah, even for
it's
a
probably
dragon,
helping
that
them.
would.
It's also hurting them. Like,
Mm.
both parties are being assisted and not assisted at the same time. And yeah, it's just kind of.
And even to the likes of Dellen, has been routinely going back and forth between the Enclave and the Misty Forest. Even he sometimes goes, I don't know what the hell I just did. He's mostly known
Cecile's like-
for his own teleportation in and out, because he'll get so lost in the forest that he just has to TP out. Just be like, nope, I'm back. I'm here. I am.
I need to leave.
Yep.
Which is why Cecile was like, we're not worried yet. Like, that conversation with Remy of like, how long's he been gone? Okay, not worried yet. And then he just bamped.
All right.
Waterdeep.
So you guys start your.
Yeah, I mean, I'll look at Alyssa, I'll look at Hydra and be like, go to Raven's Watch. We are there in Raven's Watch, and I don't know how. Like, we still gotta figure out where the fuck Kirk is. Yes. But at the same time, we've got an army in this forest that's literally, honestly, uncomfortably close to Waterdeep, in my opinion. If they get a good foothold in the forest, that's problematic for Waterdeep.
Mm-hmm.
It's problematic for Waterdeep. It's problematic for the Enclave. It's a good position to be in to take on their base in the Southern Wood. I feel like we should go with the caravan. And if we get word that we're needed back at Raven's Watch, we go back there. It's I mean, if y'all need anything specifically from Raven's Watch, I could just do a quick take one or two of us there and bring us right back. Because I know some people were waiting on weapons, right? I know Alyssa was.
Yeah, and Alyssa was. I don't know if.
Is there anybody else, Timmy?
I'm not.
To be honest, I need to go back and make some more bullets.
Mm.
I'm at like 5 bullets left.
Well, I'm pretty sure in a couple of
Yeah.
days, being in a dwarven kingdom, there's probably a smith or a shop you
Right.
could use.
Yeah.
and the cousins actually helped me understand how to make bullets.
Okay, so then we'll
So-
say you can make bullets during your downtime. It's most probably going to be like maybe half the cost to buy the bullets outright is what you would have to pay the dwarves in materials.
Right.
So however many bullets you need to get, I would just say whatever it says it costs, just half it,
Half it. Okay.
and then you re-equip yourself.
Okay. Trying to find where I look for bullets. Yeah, I'm at 5 left and they cost only 10.
So yeah, I think
50.
we can even put it into the 2-day thing or whatever. You can check with Sammy. If she manages to come back on a Discord as being a pain for her.
Mhm.
If you want to retcon later that during the 2 days at some point, Cecile's like, you have been jonesing for those axes. And it's been how many weeks since she commissioned those?
A while. They're probably ready.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'll offer up to her there's a circle here, there's a circle there, which means it's guaranteed get there and back. So
Yeah.
we can go
If they want to go down.
pick up what you need, and then we come back and we go through.
Okay. So in that couple of day downtime, or the morning of,
Mm-hmm.
you take a couple of people, probably Alyssa and whoever else. Chicken, if you are here, I still need a wisdom save.
All right, just one sec. Let me just pull my little thing on my phone. Ability, wisdom check. All right, rolling.
2.
Are you fucking kidding
No, not check, a save. Wisdom
it's a
save. Yeah, saving throw.
me? Oh, wisdom save. Okay. All right. That's better.
Yeah, so you find a little corner, little alleyway off to the side, and you start training with your lance. Despite its power, it feels heavy.
Ooh.
Like it just has this not like physical weight per se,
Yeah.
but there's just this oh boy, this is just a pain to deal with, more or less.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Wait, that didn't pass? What?
No, it passed, but it's not like you're gonna instantly
Oh.
get it. No, gosh.
Oh,
You're training
okay, yeah,
with
no, I'm
it.
still gonna be,
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
still gonna be training with it for a while.
But as you're swinging it, it just feels heavy.
Oh yeah.
Like there are times
Okay,
where
I-
you go to pick it up and it's like the tip is still dragging on the floor.
Damn.
Yeah. But you can't quite figure out why sometimes you pick it up and it feels light as a feather, and other times you try to pick it up and it has this feel of hundreds of pounds.
So yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm wondering about that. I'm like, okay, there's 2 people I can ask about this. Alyssa, and I wonder if I should ask Alyssa or Hydrune. Why not Alyssa or Hydrune? I think I might just ask Hydrune first. See if there's anything she can help me with. So I'm gonna basically take my lance. I'm gonna go find Hydrune.
No Dokley.
Dokely, dokely.
So you bring your
Yeah.
issue to Hadron.
I basically like Hadroon. I need a word with you. I have a little trouble with this lance right here. For some reason, I don't understand what it is, but at 1 second, I can twirl the thing like it is like there's no weight to it at all, like it's just a leaf in the wind. And then there's another time where it feels like the edge of the blade is weighted down by stone. But the thing is that it doesn't the weight of the material and whatnot, the weight of it's not the problem, but I just don't know what it is. Maybe you can help me out. Maybe you can find out what it is.
Have you had any training with this type of weapon before?
No, if by training you mean stabbed by it, yeah.
Oh, it's this one.
Yeah, it's the one that I got stabbed and yeah, the guy that crowd nearly stabbed and killed me with.
Just that. Oh,
Yeah, it's that one.
okay.
Intimately familiar in the wrong way.
She
Yeah.
said it doesn't feel physically heavy, but it still feels heavy.
Yes. Like there's something more to it that makes it feel heavy.
It's a
So you
mental
think you
weight.
can help me out here?
It's a mental weight.
A mental weight. Oh. Oh.
That's my best guess.
Oh, you care explain what that could be?
Be a range of things.
That's true.
I don't know enough about your specific weapon here to be able to tell you.
Alright, so what you're telling me is I had to have a little spiritual heart-to-heart talk with this thing.
Roll me an Arcana check, Hadron.
Okay. If I was on the right window to do so. Arcana. Oh, look, +7. 25? What do I know about this thing?
Death land, so
You want to say that again?
death.
Welcome back.
I mean, as it kind of states, this is a death lance. This is generally worn by or carried by undead soldiers and creatures of necrotic backgrounds. It's teeming with necrotic energy.
Meaning something I'd have an easier time wielding than Timbers.
More or less, it's Timber specializes in the corrosive, but not necessarily the full necrotic. It's going to take some time for him to adjust to that type of energy.
Okay. Timbers, your
Uh-huh.
issue is the fact that there's a lot of necrotic energy in this thing.
Oh,
You're
you telling me
you're
this
trying
thing-
to you're mentally trying to get used to an energy that you don't fully deal with.
So you're telling me that this thing is just radiating death?
Well, it is a death lance.
But yeah, no, of course, but yeah.
You're just gonna have to give it time.
All right, so yeah, just gotta,
It'll
like I
get
said,
easier.
just gotta go on a little mental walk with it.
Yep. It'll get easier. You just gotta give it time, keep practicing.
Yep.
But don't expect it to happen overnight.
Oh yeah, of course.
Necrotic energy isn't something to laugh at.
No, of course not. It's death.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate your help. Thank you very much.
Don't get into trouble with it.
Who, me? Nah. You could trust a little old me.
Remember, I was given a ring of tracking to be able to help track your ass down should you run off.
Yeah, Lord forbid I managed somehow to turn myself to tinier bits and whatnot, and spread my essence across the forest.
I'll still probably be able to find the center point. The ring was given to me by thunder spells.
Fuck. Of course, it's like after you said, like, of course that little bastard would do something like that. And then next thing you know, I'm like, next thing you just like see Timber's like, where the fuck is that little tracking bug? I'm gonna find the tracking bug.
Okay. That's all I got for you on the Lance, though.
Okay, much appreciated though.
Welcome.
As you basically walk away, all you hear is Timber's like, well, so, all right, Lance, we're gonna have to get to know each other. I think I'll call you Tinkerbell.
Al, don't question it.
Hey, at least
No,
I'll be like,
not
hey,
questioning. Just
Oh my god.
I really got like, I don't know if I really got to shoot my undead. You really like my undead horse, Cocomelon.
Oh my god. I forgot you mentioned your horse Cocomelon. Oh my
Yeah, undead horse, Cocomelon.
mhm.
Oh,
That
I
hurts
have
just thinking about
concern.
it. Yeah, I would too.
we have a Circle of Spores druid with undead horse and a death lance. I don't see this going well.
Oh,
I
yeah.
see this going very well. Don't stab yourself with your own lance. Not again.
This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's a word for it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So to catch up to other people too, so who goes with Cecile and Alyssa? Does anybody else go back quick? I'll take the silence as a no.
I don't, because I don't have anything to do back there at the moment.
Fair.
I
Other
will
than-
say, if we do dip out, I will like do that look of like look at Hydrune and then look at Nyla and then look back at Hydrune with like raised eyebrow.
I'll keep an eye on her.
Cool.
And before you guys dip out, I hand you guys, well, how much was it that we were trying, that it was being invested in type deal towards Ravenwatch? Since you guys are going back, figured toss the cash to you guys to drop in.
Oh yeah. How much are
I
you?
just know Alyssa wants hand axes, so
Yes. Yes.
that,
How much?
you know, maybe while she's getting hand axes, I go check out Garel and try and have this feather scryed on. Because Garel's met Kirk and dealt with Kirk.
Yep. So Hadrun, how much are you giving, and what do you want it to go towards?
Let's go 10,000. And it will be going towards well, considering Hydrun is in charge of the military stuff there, it'll go towards the military stuff.
CC will also give money that he doesn't need away.
Okay.
How
How
much?
much?
Tell Timmy.
How much? Just 8,000?
I don't. 10.
Oh, 10,000? And where do you want it to go towards? Or is it just going to be like general?
General. Style.
General?
General. Still have 10,000 to go.
Okay.
How much do we need?
How much
Oh,
are you willing to go?
It's just
Oh.
however much people give, their contribution goes towards either something specific or
Just
like in
general
just
use.
general defense and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, one sec. Let me check my my bank, my
Your
little
pocket.
deposit, my pockets. Yeah.
Okay,
I have a
someone
total-
tell me what the, like platinum. Holy shit, I do.
Yep. I have over 22,000 gold coins in total.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and at least give 15,000. Hello.
Yep. 15K. To anything specific?
15K. Is there like so yeah, no, this is for Ravenholm, isn't it?
Yep,
Yeah.
Raven's Watch.
Yeah, Ravenwatch. Yeah, Ravenwatch. So that means that there's no forest. Well, there's a forest surrounding and whatnot. So, I mean, what exactly is there to contribute, if I may ask?
It can go towards like specific buildings or if there's
Like the
something that you
10K.
want to see in the city that in specific.
Like,
I guess the best thing to do for me, if in order to do that, I would basically, talk to Alyssa and run it down with her. See where be best put. Because I'm a druid. I don't really just, yeah.
you want a Druid's Grove, don't you?
Yeah, like basically, if anything, I would have it where, maybe like some scouting or defenses in the forest. Okay.
Should I get rid of this electrum that I have?
Even if it's something like an herbalist shop and things like that.
This electrum in my pocket is not going well.
You know what? Actually, from my 15,000, I can put 5,000 towards the blacksmiths. Try to upgrade their stuff and whatnot, so they can probably make better things or something like that.
Mhm.
And just 10,000 to anything that could basically assist druids.
All right.
I didn't know I had 200 platinum.
Let's see. I gotta go ahead and take out 15,000. Remove.
Gabagoo.
Gabagoo.
Gabagib.
All righty. Which one is it? Where'd it go? Okay. Alrighty. All I can say is don't freak out. But after as you guys go to teleport in, If I can get the map to cooperate. So yeah, you two teleport in, and go. You guys teleport to the inside Axholm, the keep itself. Let's, the rest of this stuff. Boom. At least the inside of the keep doesn't look like it's changed much. But there seems to be less people inside than they used to.
Okay.
But
Oh,
you guys came to speak with blacksmiths, yes?
Yes.
I mean, Alyssa did. I was
Yes,
hopping up.
But if I'm
Garel.
not mistaken, the blacksmiths are outside
Yeah, they are.
Mhm.
in their own building. Why are we inside?
Because
Let's
that's
go
this-
For the
outside.
This is the
teleportation
teleportation
circles
portal.
Going
Okay.
outside.
So you guys go outside at first,
here. Mhm.
and I can kind of anticipate some jaw dropping as you see what the city in front of the keep has become.
Holy fuck.
Ooh.
Damn.
Wow. And that's only part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of it that when they were trying to figure out spacing and rooms, they ended up digging into the mountains. And some of what would be some of the city is now like inside the mountain.
Tristan, get your feet off your brother.
Interesting.
And so, yes, you can tell that there's, military buildings and what seems to be like a bank. There's a couple of different, fortifications. You got, different construction yards. Looks to be like stables. The archery things, a wizard's tower, maybe a library. There's the tavern that's just kind of chilling out. And there's, one of the big buildings actually close to the keep bellowing with smoke.
Oh,
I know where that
boys,
is. I helped
I'm
them carry shit.
home. Make my way over there.
I'm gonna look around because I want to pop back inside and see if Garel's in the same spot or if they made an actual
You go do your thing. I'll
temple.
be with
Yeah.
the blacksmiths.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So Cecile goes off to try to find Garel.
Yeah. Because I remember who she was. I don't know if she's there anymore, or if they made her a whole goddamn building.
You
That's my Lady
start.
Badger.
You start
Sorry.
heading up to where she was before, and you can kind of tell that the usual people that you remember seeing coming in and out of that area aren't there anymore. And you're like, it's like you're stopping people. Like, can you tell me where like Sister Grell is? And it's like, oh yeah, they moved her entire thing up to one of the wizard's towers.
And which one? You said one of them.
Yes, there are two, and well, one
Oh, okay.
acts like an actual like arcane tower. The other one acts more like a research tower. So I have one
Okay.
for magic and one for like scrying and divination and things like that.
All right, I know which one I'm going to. So I'll make
So-
it over there. I'm also kind of like clocking the buildings, I guess, to better understand the setup we got here. Because fuck.
Yeah, I
Just,
mean,
like we've got military buildings, we've got obviously the blacksmiths, we've got a bank. So
Oh,
yeah, just kind of
there's a whole array of general store. You can tell that there's more like a hospital, what would be like in our today's age, like clinics and stuff like that. You got the barracks, you got the academy, you got, you can see the Thieves Guild, which is like butted up to the bank for protection and things like that.
Cecile does like a slight like. No, that actually makes sense. Okay, just keeps moving.
There's a jail, bunch of houses, there's even kind of off by one of the running waters, a very small cemetery. And then the newest thing, which you can even tell from walking around that they're still putting the finishing touches on, and that's the battlements, the wall.
Yeah.
Because for a long time during this construction phase, the walls were just like stakes in the ground. There wasn't very much protection other than the actual Axholm keep.
Right. I mean, granted, we still have the keep. Shit falls apart. Like, shit gets attacked. Everybody moves into the keep.
For how much they've tried to fortify the city, if shit hits the fan, the keep is still the most defendable place in the entirety of everything.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just clocking everything, and as I'm making my way to the divination tower. How long have we been going?
Like a month or so.
Okay.
When you guys left, there was a couple of buildings put up and things like that. Well, yeah, there's a couple of buildings had been put up when you guys left. But
a bunch of forces got sent here, though.
Yes, almost every member of the council, almost every member of the council sent forces, both magical and mundane, both resource heavy, both person heavy. So just the populace, they sent such a droving force. Because I think even like Melindrock was like, here, let me send 20,000 mages, and Thunderspells sent,
a bidding contest.
Yes.
Yep.
There was a bidding contest for how much gold and how much resources, how many people can we send? Can we spare?
It was a pissing contest. We know.
So yes, even though you guys have only been gone for probably like a little over a month, there's been enough manpower to just Rome wasn't built in a day, but holy crap.
Blackfall might have been.
Like, didn't the council give us like 100 to 150K?
Oh,
yeah, total it was like 200 and something.
It was over
Yeah.
I got the numbers here somewhere.
And from three of us, we just sent another 35K.
Yeah, they donated over 275,000 on that first visit.
Plus, there was the troops that they were willing to send.
Yep.
So that helped to be able to expedite a lot of the building.
Yep. Sending wizards and builders and nurses and educators and look at you just have a populace of farmers and women and children and whatnot. Now they're all teachers, and it's like the entire people that you probably remember like sitting and begging for food are now like running shops and things like that. It's a lot has changed in such a small amount of time.
We're becoming a formidable power.
Badger.
That's the whole point.
Did you say there were farmers?
There were farmers.
Oh God.
And you know what comes with farmers?
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, don't fucking say it.
All right.
Badger. So like I sent to you in the DMs, I want to put I want to basically make a Blackfall. I want to make a bestiary for Blackfall, so that way Blackfall can utilize the beasts surrounding beasts as defense.
Are you gonna run it?
Yeah, I'll definitely be the founder of it.
And you'll
basically know how to train. train future druids and whatnot. You know, spores and whatnot.
And you have your spot. As
Yeah.
long as you maintain responsibility of it.
Of course.
So, like,
Train basically,
Hydrina-
yeah, we utilize basically train, you know, rangers and druids. Train them to basically, you know, the wild.
Druids, yeah. Rangers,
Well, I mean,
I think
because
that's more my territory.
no, I'm talking about when it comes to rangers. I'm talking about, you know, beast masters. You know,
Gotcha.
because
Yeah,
beasts.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
I know.
I was gonna say like CC would probably be the blacksmith area
But
with everything. since
I
he
do
has
have
armor.
one demand. One demand.
Demand.
I at least want one cow to be sacrificed. One cow. That's all I ask. One cow to be sacrificed.
To appease his vendetta.
To please my vendetta so I can finally put it behind me.
We'll talk about it.
All right, fine.
We'll talk
But when
about
we
it.
do this, I want that one cow. I want that one
Said
cow.
we
That
would
back
talk about it. I didn't say we were gonna do it. I said we'll talk about it. That means we're gonna compromise.
When you guys left, the city itself was like at a level like 6 or 7. It is now, at least in the Kingdom Builder, it is a level 12 city.
Yes. Yes.
Out of a possibility of a 20. Like once it hits a level 20, it is a completely fortified, anything you could think of is here
Yo,
kind of city.
in.
Like all the other
Fine.
major cities along the Sword Coast, they were pretty much able to rival Neverwinter.
Captain of the Druid. Yes.
What level is Neverwinter?
Neverwinter was a level 20 city.
That worries me only because Neverwinter got wiped out so much.
Yep.
They also weren't
Neverwinter,
expecting it.
But Neverwinter's also been the heart of the Sword Coast when it comes to commerce and trade and things like that. It is one of the
Sounds
most
like they need a new
populated
heart.
area. Yes. And
there's
so
also
for the cult to take out Neverwinter is a major cripple to the entire area, which is what they wanted.
Not for long.
I saw the wheels turning in your head.
Oh, we both had wheels. It's a lot of wheels. It's a big rig. Yeah, I'm gonna go find Gurel and
Okay.
clocking everything, clocking layout.
So why
clocking
it takes you time to go and find Gurel, I'm pretty sure there is a foot to the front door kicking open of the blacksmith shop, and this just towering billowing of just heat hits Alyssa the second those doors swing open. And you see
A
not
smile.
just
Big smile.
you see several small forges and things. There's a couple of different blacksmiths that are just working on smaller projects, but kind of like on the far side of the building with this towering, billowing smoke and ash and churning big old giant, almost like steampunk gears. You can almost see the fires are so hot, that whole lava flow of things on the two biggest forging anvils. The twins are just, or not really twins, but I'm calling them twins at this point. The
Might
two
as well be.
cousins
I mean,
are
they're known through the coast as the Hammer Twins.
as the Hammer Twins. Yep, but they are both working just on projects. But the second those doors kick open, there's that like momentary of they don't notice, and then they kind of just stop. And one of them kind of like look over their shoulder. They just have this feeling. And as soon as they see Alyssa, everything drops. One of them hits this really large lever on the wall, and you just see this powering of smoke as some of the forges are getting cooled down for the time being. And as the smoke clears, they come down their staircase. They've got a towel. They're trying to wipe off the whole sweat and muck and gunk. And it's been a while since we've seen you.
Hello, boys.
Was beginning to think you weren't ever coming back.
Oh no. Trust me. I always come back.
Promise or
I see
threat?
you've been busy.
Oh, incredibly. So
Yeah.
incredibly.
Yeah, and you think you're busy now. We're bringing more.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, we got more.
The
coming.
more the merrier. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. The amount of times that we finally had to build a massive gate just to shut out some of the people that were knocking on our doors at first because we didn't have the room to supply them. But
It's
once the
better to
construction
be-
crews came, let's just say, you think we've been busy. Have you not looked around?
Oh no.
I've
looked
never
around.
seen a city raised as quickly as I've seen Blackfall.
Oh, we're about to be even bigger. I'm determined to make this place become the new
Rival
heart of
winter
Vermouth.
home. Never winter.
They've even had construction crews. They've dug into the mountains. They've expanded into the mountains.
That's probably for the best, honestly. It's better defense. And considering we got a dragon war going on, yeah, I like it.
We had to create new ways of light for some of those areas. Our sun spires are bright and large, but they're amazing.
Oh, they're done by you guys, absolutely, no doubt.
And then the other one, like they kind of like sit there like, yeah, how could we help you? And then one smacks the other one upside the head. She's here for the axes. Oh, yes, forgot about that. And like one runs off and brings back this little chest. It kind of looks like a guitar case, but you know, more rectangulish, and kind of like puts it down and it's like, okay, we worked.
You see Alyssa just kind of like shiver with anticipation, like, let me see it. Let me see it.
Not because we've seen you when you've been angry. We understood the whole barbarian side of things and figured these would be very useful in the right situations, but at the same time, they could also be extremely, extremely dangerous. So,
For the enemy, I hope.
for everybody.
Okay,
And
I'm listening.
with that, he pops the lock and opens it up. I present you the Bloodborne Furies.
Bloodborne Fury.
And you see these twin hooked battle axes that are crafted from the scales and bones of slain dragons. And down each of the handles are 5 transparent crystals.
Really?
They're going to need a little bit of attunement, but not in the type of attunement that you are thinking.
Really?
If you can figure out how to activate its ability that we can only call rage and fury, that will provide extra damage to you.
Attunement through raging.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
And if I were to fail?
Then you might awaken to the draconic bloodlust that are ingrained in both of these axes pertaining from the materials we crafted them from. So, in your inventory, you have the Bloodborne Furies. They have 2 abilities, Rage and Fury. While in a rage, once per your turn, the wielder can use a bonus action to fill a crystal in each axe with a blood point. And it will 5 HP per axe, so that's 10 HP temporarily consumed. And it gives the weapons an extra die of damage.
Damn.
But the damage tops off after 5 blood points have been added. The downside is if you activate Draconic Bloodlust, when all 5 crystals have been filled with blood points, and there are no longer enemy targets on the field, the wielder must succeed a wisdom save or see all creatures on the field as enemies until subdued or your rage timer runs out.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
All right.
Oh no.
And I have
So-
2 minis,
So-
one for each hand.
Yes.
This
And
is
which so basically each of your turns you can use a bonus action to go 10 HP used to fill each of the crystals because it's 5 HP apiece. So every turn you can go, all right, I'm going to use Rage and Fury and fill a blood point. You're at 1 blood point. So then whatever your damage is, so let's say it's a 1d8 or whatever, it's now a 2d8. You fill another blood point, it's now a 3d8. You filled another blood point, it's a 4d8 with each one until you hit the maximum 5. But once you hit the maximum of 5, you've entered a state of blood fury.
Bloodlust, yeah.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, Alyssa is now becoming a blood hunter barbarian. Oh
Uh-huh.
god.
I mean, I was a blood. You know.
Combined with Horizon Walker Ranger feats,
Yeah.
this is why the dwarves are like, I'll be careful with these. This could be very good because you might not know. Like, you might just go, all right, I'm going to fill a point or 2 and deal some extra damage. But if you're fighting a really strong enemy and you end up pushing more points into it to get more damage out of it, you very much risking the bloodlust to kick in.
So
Sorry,
I
I'm
take
giggling
it
as a
the,
barbarian who's played that game.
So I take it the blood points go away when the battle is over.
When the
And
battle
not
is
when they
over,
just get-
you're out of rage and everything calms
Not-
down. Then
okay.
the blood points subside and basically return to you. So whatever HP.
Okay, question. So
Huh.
if I were to end rage early, because I can do that.
Yeah.
I can end my rage. I think I might end up taking a point of exhaustion. There's something in there about it. Do those points go away and then could I reactivate rage?
Yeah. Once you deactivate rage, the blood points are returned to you,
Okay, noted.
which can sometimes be a crutch if you get to low HP, because if you have 4 of the blood points activated, that's 40 HP you get back just by deactivating them and then starting over again.
So what I'm hearing is don't piss off Alyssa when she's wielding the damn fucking axes. Got it.
Well, I'm telling you right now, y'all are gonna see me use those things and be like, "Are you okay?"
I'm fine.
Again,
Okay,
as a
back the fuck
barbarian
off.
who said
Who do you
weapon,
think's been
that
worrying
was like,
more?
so if something goes bad, this happens.
Yeah.
Who do you think the party's going to worry more?
Before he allows you to like even touch them, they give a final warning of overuse of pushing the line in the sand might start warping the line. These have not been thoroughly tested because nobody in the city can rage like you.
Okay.
There's no other, that basically is saying there's no other barbarians to test it.
We need to bring more barbarians into the city so you can make and test weapons.
I mean, most
But
of them are fighting.
between the
Based off of your
gems,
craftsmanship, I mean,
between the gems, the ores you guys have brought him, and the dragon materials that you have given him to craft these look like they've just been like cut out of a dragon's hide kind of thing. Like, they're nice looking.
awesome. That's awesome.
Well,
I'm happy.
Pretty sure there's bound to be a couple barbarians in that 25k that are marching this way.
And I'm just gonna be like, so for just a thank you for your craftsmanship and everything else. Whatever drinks you and your people want for the month, for the next
Look.
30 days, whoever works in this blacksmithing I forget the word for it. Whoever
Forge.
works
Mhm.
here,
In the
whoever
forge,
works
yeah.
here in this forge, free drinks for a month.
Yep, Forge. Yep.
You just, I think
a
you
thank
just
you,
make
just
George
a
very
tip.
happy.
They stare at you, they stare at each other, and then they like turn in either direction. Did you hear that, boys? We're gonna have a crazy weekend.
Yeah, just for some thank you, because I know you guys have been busting your ass, and you don't know how much this is going to help.
It's going to hurt us.
Between, and they like point at each other, between working with him and having this massive forge that we were able to design and create ourselves, believe me, the work has been easy. And then because of the workflow, they've been able to hire other blacksmiths or learning blacksmiths to do some of the little stuff while they work on the bigger projects. And it's just been like, yeah, the whole forge has been able to churn out. You know, this forge can churn out more in a day than most larger blacksmiths can churn out in like a week.
Good, as it should be.
You know, you can tell like there are just carts and buckets and crates filled with like armor and weapons and, you know, different supply. And somebody's been working on, you know, chains and chain links and this, that, and the other thing. Like it looks like every single person in that forge is like in like full, like been working under a volcano kind of feel.
I'm happy.
So you say there's more coming? Cool. We'll be able to equip them with whatever they need at this point.
Good. Because I don't know what's going to happen next. I'll be honest with you. It's pretty sketchy still. There's still a very high chance that we are going to be facing a dragon civil war
We've
and the possible rise of Tiamat.
at one point too, one of them pulls out a scroll and kind of like throws it down and opens it up, and it kind of outlines that on some of the battlements he's been designing and creating what looks to be giant crossbows, ballistas and things like that to arm, because all they've been hearing is dragging this and dragging that, and
we're gonna need a lot more like that.
Oh yeah, and it's like
AA guns.
Yeah, he's basically like, it's going to be the first few designs are going to be going up on the walls to protect the city. And then, you know, you can see other little drawings and illustrations of like cart mounted ones that can be driven on, you know, with horseback and stuff like that, and have someone on the back of it.
It's like the second Hobbit movie where they have that one giant ballista left that they had in Rivendell, or not Rivendell, the lake water area.
Yeah, we know.
Bilbo, Beaufort, Thorin, all those guys tried to. Sorry,
like that, but yeah, because they're like we're not idiots. We've seen the type of people that have been walking through our front doors. You know, a lot of them are injured, a lot of them are soldiers. There's only, you know, other than that first wave of people that look like they were just fresh and ready to work, a lot of people that have shown up have been in battle, fighting against this, and the stories and the taverns. Holy shit. Been dragging this and dragging that in between, trying to build up the city. That's why they kind of rushed the walls, and like they're explaining like all of their thought process and defense. And of course, because your main architects happen to be dwarves, not to mention two of the best dwarven smiths in all of the Sword Coast, the battlements and all the buildings have that very dwarvish look to them.
Good.
See, I could see stuff putting them like here, and here.
I'm just telling the boys, I'm like, we're gonna become the new heart of the Sword Coast, so please continue doing what you're doing. You know, I'll take care of you.
The like I said, the biggest building with big old fucking stacks like this is the forge back here on this. That's how I kind of designed for the forge. Like it's just this massive, tall cathedral like steampunky engine. But yeah,
Yeah, I never
you
went to
obtain.
Have Ballista.
Oh gosh, no, yeah, no. And that's kind of like their whole thing was like there's so many things that between them working in small towns and large cities, it's like together we're making sure we cross all the T's and dot all the I's and make sure that everything we need is sustained and ready.
When I leave the forge, I'm gonna go over to the tavern and be like, "Here's 10,000 gold. You're gonna need it. Trust me.
All right.
If you need more, go tell Harbin." I know they don't know that because I'm still under the radar as being a owner of this place. So I'm just like, you're gonna need this.
Yeah, you're basically doing the whole I've been told to give you this.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, I express before I leave the forge, I'm like, thank you. You guys have not let me down, and I'll take care of you. Just be prepared. Keep preparing. If you think you've prepared enough, prepared some more, because I promise you haven't.
As you leave the tavern and kind of walking out near the tavern, like across the road and down a little bit ways, you see this one building that looks busy, but it doesn't look as big and massive and powerful as the rest of them. And if you decide to
go check
it out, it's essentially an administration building. Harvin has an office in the back in there, and there are just offices upon offices because this is now like the beating heart of all of here's the workforce, here's the office that handles all the agriculture, all of the resources, all the hospital stuff, like basically full admin. And Harbin kind of oversees all of it. Not only, so he's also the one divvying up, okay, so you have hospitals, you have people that need treatment, and you guys are low of cash. Okay, cool. I'm going to give some of the funds to you to get materials, and then telling the other departments.
I'm going to walk in and I'm going to go up to the clerk that I'm sure is sitting there and be like, I need to see Harbin. And if she's like, oh, he's busy, I'd be like, tell him it's Alyssa.
Yeah, you kind of get this little dwarven female at the desk, oh, hi. And you mentioned Harbin, and she's all like, well, I know he's busy, but nobody ever comes to see him. But okay,
yeah, I need to see him, please.
Okay, and so she kind of looks like she gets up out of her chair and starts walking over a few steps, and then goes, Harbin, someone didn't see you. And you hear him back, hold on, and it's like, she says her name is Alyssa, and then she just turns around, pops back on her chair, scoots it back towards, and he'll be out in a minute. And there's this weird commotion. You see shadows in the back office, and you see Harbin poke his head out and sees you, and he's just like,
holy shit.
What's up, buddy?
And almost running out of his office, and you see a couple of paper and parchments fly all over the place. He just comes sliding up to the desk and grabs go for your hand big old shaky. She's like, how's it going? It's
Let's
been a
go
while.
talk some more private.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's go talk some more private. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's skedaddling, and of course, as soon as he steps in, similar to messy office detail, he's immediately trying to throw papers together and clean off. He's got to. There's he's got to remove what looks to be a small potted plant off of a chair so you can sit, and he's just moving papers and shoving them in folders, and finally kind of plops on at his desk, and he's just kind of hi.
Wow. You guys have done amazing with everything we've sent and the instructions, and look at this place. I don't even recognize it.
When you send us reinforcements, I never expected it would be droves of elves and dwarves and mages who can do things that I never thought people can do. You know how quickly some of these buildings got put up because
I know.
dwarves say do this and this. The elves are moving things I didn't think they could carry, and then the mages are like, "Oh, this is taking too long," and then it's all like he's like going on like this big old charades, like holy shit. And then he's like, "I know I've been a
Amazing.
mayor. I know I was a mayor of Phandalin, but this goes beyond what I've ever thought of. And if it wasn't for all of
How do
these
you like
people, it's been interesting." I have to thank some of the other kingdoms advisors, because without their estimating, this building wouldn't really exist. There, it was one of what's her name from Waterdeep?
Silverhand.
Silverhand. Yes, she sent me a
Yeah.
couple of advisors specifically to help me not lose my brain.
Yeah, make sure you keep in contact with them. That's a good idea. I do have one question though. How
Yes.
safe do you feel with this building being out in the open rather than in the mountain with a bunch of the other architects and
Well,
other buildings? and
thankfully,
stuff?
this is just where we gather and disperse. My actual
You don't have a whole bunch of records here, do you?
no. Most
Okay,
of the
good.
really sensitive stuff is back by the safe.
Okay. All right.
I have a
Ah.
bedroom off there where my office was, is kind of like my home, but I do my work
Okay.
out of here because we have all the, and he's like gesturing to all the different like offices. I'm like, this is more or less a focal point. All of the different resource, I guess, departments have elected
Okay.
somebody to kind of run their little area, and we kind of just gather and exchange information and whatnot. So even
So-
though I'm not necessarily running everything myself, I have a team of people that meet in this building only to make sure that agriculture and medicine and everything is doing what they're supposed to be doing, that are hitting their quotas and that are getting the reinforcements they need if they need it.
I will say this. If I ever send you a raven saying move inside, you take everything you can and you move it inside the mountain. Things are still kind of sketchy. We are still very much at risk of Tiamat coming to life. We're still very much at risk of the Dragon Civil War. We are down a member. His draconic bloodline got active and he took off. We don't know where he went. Things are still very up in the air right now.
You're talking about
Yes.
Kirk. Kirk's gone?
He's gone for now.
A shame.
So it is. We'll get him back, but I don't know when. Also, little heads up, I just visited the Forge and they have been doing some good work. I paid the tavern $10,000. So the Forge can have, and I mean the whole Forge, can have drinks for free for the month. So if they ask, tell them it's because of their efforts towards, the war, the impending war.
Although I completely
Yep.
trust the tavern, they do sometimes can get a little greedy, so I will make sure that they hold up their end.
If they get greedy, you let me know.
Mm.
Because I know a certain gnome that can cause problems for them.
Oh, love that I'm not nearby to hear any of this. So lucky I'm not nearby.
I mean
nearby
that
to
as
hear
a
this.
compliment for Timbers. I promise you.
Honestly, it's the old traditional.
I will
someone
make them-
sneezes.
That will make them
Someone's
regret
talking
being
about me.
greedy. Yeah.
Yeah, he goes on to explain that the city has not only a tavern and inn, which is a much larger building, but there's just a straight up ale house. Because there's a large populace that likes their beer and they're very particular about their frickin' beer. And so they have
Dwarves.
an entire ale house that just serves ale of like 20 different varieties. But because
I'm
of
sure
the
that was
droves of
partially
people
like
coming
that.
in, Harbin mentions that they're like, he gives a couple of stories about how it was a little rough at first for the current populace and the droves of people coming in, especially right early when you guys left, to get along, because a lot of the people now in charge of things were merchants first. So yes, when he mentions greedy, he's not necessarily mentioning greedy in like a bad way, but they are trying to make sure that their coin purses are full. But as the entire city has been kind of making sure that each one holds up their own end of every bargain, he hasn't had any problems. Not to mention, because of the military barracks and whatnot, a lot of the cadets are active as patrolmen and almost like policemen that patrol in and out of the cities, just to kind of like make sure that everybody's getting along and help settle disputes and things like that. And it's just been going great.
Good, as it should be. You're doing a great job, like I said. I basically came in and wanted to say hi and just basically say, if I said to Raven saying move inside, you move inside. Because of the fall of Neverwinter and how Neverwinter was basically the center for trading, and they were such a massive part of the Sword Coast. We're not necessarily aiming to replace them, but I know we could do better. We have a ways to go, but we can do it. And I know with my leadership, the council's advisors, the way you've been running things, I have no doubt that we'll make it there. But I wanted to check in. We're bringing more. I'm only here for the moment. We have to teleport back to lead a march. And there's more coming. It's not quite the thousands and thousands and thousands, but there's a few. Just so you know.
By chance, you're not marching to Misty Forest, are you?
Are we, Badger?
Yes.
Okay, then
Yep.
yeah, we are.
He's just kind of like, okay, good, because he has gotten scouts reports and people that have come in from that area that have just talked about how it's just a complete mess for those that are involved with the fighting.
A complete mess. Oh, so we'll pick up more from Misty Forest and bring them here. Awesome. Good to know.
A few have already been sent this way. There is a it seems like dumbfounded, but he was like, I don't think we've ever gotten their name, but from the Harpers, Raventree, Remelia. The last time her and I spoke, she stopped by like a couple days ago, and mentions that there was asking if we had encountered any one of her agents or operatives. There's one that apparently is moving inside of the Misty Forest that has been sending people this way.
Good.
Per her orders. A lot of like the sick and the wounded and whatnot, the people that really have been having issues defending for themselves. But she seemed really concerned. She hasn't heard from her operative in a little while now. After receiving a report, I do not. But he was after. But they were after some sort of some fighter to keep an eye on.
A fighter?
Mm-hmm.
Sledge.
I don't think she mentioned his name, but she was kind of vague. So my reconvening of my memory and whatnot might not be completely accurate. But yeah, she stopped by asking if I had run into her operative, who was on the trail of a particular fighter that had gone missing in the Misty Forest.
Alyssa's face goes slightly serious and is like, okay. Thank you for telling me. I'll need to pass this information along. I'll look into it. Is there anything else I should know about?
No, I think that's all I got this time. But between all normally the information I do get, I send a Raven for. This particular little bit of information, I don't think I could have ever really worded it in a Raven because it's just a lot of vague information.
A lot. Yeah.
And then for you, Sammy, I don't know if you were around when, right before you guys left Waterdeep, Dellen had teleported in, all injured and whatnot. I think you had to step away during that time. But as you guys were going from Waterdeep to
Mithril Keep.
Mithril Hall, to help with the Centauros army and whatnot, Dellen, who is in charge of the Emerald Enclave, popped in kind of injured and kind of like groggy, talking about how his people had just barely survived a attack. They had set up an ambush for a bunch of the cultists, but the only downside is that they had met with Sledge the day before and asked for his help, and the dude never showed.
Granted, for additional context, Sledge never showed, but also the attack was planned for like a little after midnight, right?
Mhm.
Something like that. Which is around the same time Kirk up and dipped.
Oh,
Or at least
motherfucker.
that was the thought process that Cecile went down, but we don't know.
Fuck. Okay. Shit. All right. Well,
And so he's regaining this information as not only did the fighter, as Harbin explains, has disappeared, but Remy hasn't been able to make contact with her operative as well. So there's this whole little ball of confusion.
must be a draconic in a way.
No, that was one of the theories, but her operative is not draconic in any way.
Really?
So the missing information, the missing communique, has just caused the Harpers to be a little concerned.
Yeah,
So
I need to
keep
go
that in mind.
find Cecile. Yeah, I need to go find Cecile. Send me a raven if you need anything. You know I'll answer, and I'll be back. Keep up the good work.
Okay. So in the midst of all of this, we're gonna sidetrack over to Cecile trying to find.
I am running out the door trying to find her, but you do your thing.
Yeah, and you find her office kind of like she's got like a little. It's very, very serene, very mystical, very lots of stones and rocks and glowing things. The candles, there's not as many candles, so it's kind of darker. Very different than her setup in Axholm. But you can tell when you see her that she feels much more at home. This is my space. Nobody fucks with me, and she doesn't have to deal with any of the idiots that she normally has to deal with. Like she's got that. She still has that very happy attitude, but will very much rip somebody's face off if bothered too much. But yeah, you kind of like slink in, trying to be very respectful of things.
Respectful. Is it shoes off or shoes on type situation?
Probably like shoes off.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Like if I notice shoes off at whatever, I will
And
kind of like sigh
can-
and be like, been a hot minute, but like do the unbuckling of fucking foot.
Yep. Beyond a curtain that's kind of transparent. You see her talking to a couple of people. Her back is turned and whatnot, and she's dealing with a couple of things. Trying to work with like a book or whatnot. And it doesn't
the
take.
dropping of armored boots is probably noticed.
Oh yeah, it doesn't take much. This is still a fairly sizable room. You're way over there, and she's kind of off, in her own little corner. But doesn't take long before she just stops and goes, I was wondering when you would return. And like she spins on her heels, and despite her face being all like grr, you can tell that like she's smiling, like she's genuinely happy to see you.
Okay, good.
Like it's you,
Yeah.
but doesn't show it.
she's a half orc. It tracks.
Mhm.
Yeah, Smile would be like, you look like you're in much more comfortable digs now.
Oh, I cannot tell you how much
You
more
looked like
comfortable
me
this
in a
place
meeting
is.
room before.
I was just kind of thrown in a large room with other people that would constantly get on my nerves, and so this is just peace in comparison. I have to thank those boys. I have to thank the boys later for allowing us to have this place constructed to begin with, because I was not going to share my space with a bunch of nose stuck into the air wizards in the other tower. They could all go to hell.
Oh, so the Forge twins hooked you up at the site.
Yes.
God.
Yes,
Good
they
to
did
know.
hook me up.
They're good boys. Well, I don't mean to interrupt you. But
No
I got
interruption. I was just finishing a couple of things, wondering when I'd be seeing you next.
Oh, it's a quick visit. We're about to go back and then march on the Misty Forest. But one, our friend Kirk kind of just up and disappeared in the middle of the night. I think it was related to a horn, a Drakhorn, or whatever. Yeah, is it the Drakhorn or just the
Yes.
Dragon Horn?
No, Drakhorn.
Okay, yeah, Drakhorn. Tried to keep him from going. He zapped the fuck out of me, but managed to
doesn't
get
sound
this
like
off
him.
of him. Show the blue feather I managed, like I bottled up one of his feathers. Apparently all chromatics were kind of going north suddenly, but no nothing, just up in the middle of the fucking night, gone.
Yes, there
I got
has
one
seemed to
other-
be a gathering happening.
Have you figured out where?
No, the location that I've gotten close to scrying, it was quite scary for a couple of days. We had our populace return to Axholm for a few days to kind of just hunker down. When we had some scouts notice that high up in the clouds, they could see dragons flying overhead, but they were just passing and heading
How many?
north.
How many dragons? Seal brings out a notepad.
I believe the latest number was 6 in a span of 2 days.
Oh, it's just like 6 in a span of 2 days, and that's just over here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They were just they must have been in either in the mountain area or south of here, and just happened to be heading that direction.
Any? Okay, first, can you try scrying on Kirk? Because if he went to, I have his feather, and that'll at least.
She kind of like plucks the vial out of your hand. She goes, "Well, I would ask for something of his, but clearly, you've already thought ahead. Thank you." And she pops it and very delicately pulls the feather out, and she kind of like her hand kind of twitches a little bit as it just sits there and crackles for a minute before she gets a good grasp of it at the base, and a good grasp of it at the base and kind of holds it up to her, and she's just kind of like, what type of class was this person?
I a sorcerer and like magic man. It's an Aarakocra, but not an Aarakocra, if you get my drift.
He
reacted
the
funny
boys,
to Drakhorn last time. It went off.
just the energy in this feather alone, the boys could probably light an entire building for a month with their new fandangled lighting systems. No more do we have to necessarily worry about flame alone.
Mm-hmm. No, I'll have to ask them about that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he gave me a hell of a shock. I'm sturdy, and that knocked me on my ass. I couldn't even move. And he was gone.
If he was
Also with 4 wings. So
four wings,
yeah.
he mutated enough of his draconic bloodline to spawn a second set of wings.
Sure. I don't understand the magic as well, but yes. He became blue as far as I can tell. He wasn't this blue the first time I met him years back.
No, it would be the his affinity. I'm assuming the blue dragon's normally affinity with lightning. And he probably utilizes lightning a lot because he gets probably bonuses to using his affinity to his bloodline.
Zappy man, yes.
Yes, overuse of that type of magic probably just accelerated the draconic genes in his body to activate and mutate. He won't look completely dragon, but he'll be this weird cross between bird and drake at some point. If he's not entirely blue currently, but just with what little feather this is and how much energy it gives off, I'm whatever hold the Drakhorn has on him is probably why he was able to turn ally into enemy very quickly like that. I hope no bad wounding. You said he zapped the hell out of you, but not enough to necessarily draw blood or anything.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, that's a good sign.
Why is
he
that
said he's
a problem? Oh,
because
okay.
if this little feather has this much energy, he probably could have just made you dust and
Vaporized
ash. Yes. So somewhere in there,
Cool.
he was
Glad I
holding
was the
back.
one who did it then. Great, that's good. Can you scry on him?
She's trying all of this, and she's only met Kirk a couple of times, but she seems to be giving you information that even you hadn't quite figured out from the years of knowing him. Since she's been holding a feather, she's been slowly pulling information about him based on what the feather itself was telling her.
Yeah.
And just kind of sits there and be like, yes,
right now.
she does understand that the Drakhorn has whole, that his powers have amplified because of the bloodline and the fact that he's been using nothing but lightning. And kind of can understand, the feather can even give her that impression that he could have vaporized you, but he didn't. He was holding back, but he hit you enough to know that you could take it, something along that line.
Yeah.
Good. And as she's starting to go, her eyes start to turn this ghostly white as she's focusing on it, and you can kind of see her looking up and around, she's looking at something, but you can't see whatever the hell she's looking at. Her usual scrying techniques, and I can see him, but where, I don't know. He's north.
Can you describe the area? Is he still in the air? Is he landed?
He's in a fortress. One that I don't think I've ever seen on the maps. I don't recognize the terrain. I don't recognize the area.
Oh, are there
But wherever
dragonborns around him?
I can't quite see through the haze. There is something that is blocking a good chunk of my scry, and I can only see blips and images. I can tell that he is north, but where, I don't know. I see
North fortress.
I see a man, purple robes. And I see a very tall woman by a fire. And he is armored up.
Kirk is the man.
Kirk. He has been given armament.
He's a magic user, and they gave him armor. He's never worn armor.
Hmm.
You said a tall woman and a man in purple robes. Have I heard of a man in purple robes?
Mm-hmm. He might have something on him that you can try to get her to scry.
Man in purple. What? The robes. Purple robes on the man.
Yes, purple robes.
Any images? Any? Does he have a mask on him at all?
He carries something tied to his waist. You mentioned a mask. Yeah, that could be what I be seeing. It's red with glowing golden eyes.
Does it look like the woman is giving the man commands?
I can't tell. She's staring at the hearth of a fire. And the man in purple hat, wait. He knows. He's pushing me out. And then like takes her a few seconds for her to like snap back. And the feather
second she says like
and the
he
feather
knows, Cecile probably doesn't even say anything. Cecile will point blank. If she says he knows, I am going to try and inflict some damage to break the concentration of the spell to pull her out like abruptly, because Cecile doesn't want him to try and backtrack through her with the pushing out. Cecile's like, no, trying to cut this connection.
So
I'll apologize afterwards.
What kind of physical damage do you inflict?
Probably just hitting her arm or something like that. I respect her too much to smack her across the face. No, thank you, but like a quick.
Violently shake her.
No, it needs to be damaged because it's a spell, and spells rely on concentration. So it's gonna be a very abrupt, like kind of shoulder punch. I'm still wearing my fucking armor gauntlets, so it's a metal fist going into her shoulder.
Okay.
To try and get her to snap out of it.
I won't even make you
fast as
roll
I
on
can.
that because she's in like robes and a dress compared to your full armored, like that's just gonna be like ow.
And I'm gonna do the immediate I'm sorry. I don't
You
know his
clock
powers
her
and didn't.
and her eyes snap back to normal, and the feather that she's holding kind of just fizzles out into just like, I wouldn't say like a firecracker, but think like the effects of an end of a sparkler, like just like flame to gunpowder, just kind of just fizzes out and just gone.
Right. But yeah,
did you happen to stop her because you thought that he knows meant Severin?
Yes.
Okay. So
all she said was he knows, and I didn't know who that he was and wasn't willing to risk Severin trying to backtrack it, or even Kirk trying to backtrack it. Like with the pushing out, he can follow the direction of the push out type thing, possibly. So it was like, if he knows, I want to try and sever that connection so he can't get any information from it. Like trying to minimize how much info he gets. Yeah.
And like she snaps out of it and her arm immediately goes to her shoulder and she's like,
I'm sorry.
Thanks? Question mark. Like I don't know if I needed that, but better safe than sorry.
Pretty sure the man with Kirk is Severin. He's the one leading the cult.
Like she goes and takes a moment to sit down in a chair nearby and whatnot. And there was more.
more. Okay. Like Cecile's like around. Are they like magical equivalent of ice pack or something or whatever?
One
She
of
feels
one
like a
of one
dick
of
for
her
punching
one of
her,
her
but-
one of her aides is running off to go get something of that sort, more or less, like some cooling salve and stuff like that. But she was like, no, she saw the tall woman, she saw the man in the purple robes, but right before she lost connection, she's like, all she could sit there and remember is piercing golden eyes, black face.
And a mask or a different person?
No, different person.
So there was dude in purple robes and
she
woman.
kind of portrays it as like the moment she felt like someone was onto her, that was the image that she got, was someone had gotten into essentially Kirk's face, and all she could see was piercing yellow eyes and black face.
Dragonborn?
I'm not sure.
Sledge has piercing yellow eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any scars on the face?
Not that I noticed. It was only just for an instant.
Cecile is like simultaneously like kicking herself. Like, I'll look at her and be like, is there any way for you to show me that? I don't know.
Based on, like, she tries to like conjure something, but because of the haze and that she only got to see just a little bit, isn't able to come up with an image that you can identify.
Okay.
It was just almost like a jump scare to leave a room kind of thing. Like all of a sudden it was just and then gone.
Kicking myself. And also not. But well, that was the second thing I was gonna see if you could scry on. Granted, I don't have the closest thing I have to an item that could be considered his, even though it wasn't his, would be this, and I'll hold up the necklace that Sledge had on him that I
Mhm.
took back, because he's had that since he killed her, which was for a while. So there's gotta be some sort of, like, there's that potential imprint, you know?
She says she can try if you want her to.
But this could get destroyed.
Potentially.
Is there a way to pull out of it before you think it's gonna get destroyed?
Yes. I can do a more mild based scry. I won't be able to see anything, but I can try to sense what I can sense through the item.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay. So almost hesitantly, like she's like, all right, give me the item.
Take
and,
it off. Yeah.
and she's kind of like playing with it in her hands a little bit, like she's just trying to get a feel for the item, and just kind of like, all right, this is this kind of thing. And as she's sitting there, like her eyes are starting to like haze back over again, but not nearly as like pure white as before, like a gloss.
Yeah.
And there's a moment where like her emotions go a little roller coaster, because she's not just sensing, like, the item has been passed through a couple of different hands.
Mm-hmm.
And she is trying to decipher what is yours versus what is hers versus what is his. And there's a moment where she's sitting there and goes, oh my, okay, oh my, we'll pass that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go over there. And then she kind of like settles a little bit on, okay, I sense conflict. and confusion. Compared to the others in the room, this one does not seem completely convinced in what he's doing.
See the same room Kirk was?
Yes. And then she kind of like put it together. He was the one that saw me. He noticed me through the eyes of the bird. Strange. I don't sense magic through him. I sense... Oh. This person. What information can you tell me?
Dragonborn fighter. Bounty hunter. Potentially has a cursed bounty attached to him. Pretty sure he's got a cursed bounty attached to him. I have similar bounty attached to the same person he did. Or does.
To
story.
Felros.
Cecile, like, dead stops. Because I don't know. Did we scry on Felros?
Nope.
Yeah, cool.
This is just a name that she's able to scry as she's researching things. Like, oh, yep.
More or less, she's like, yes. As far as I know, his bounty hasn't been destroyed yet, because it's not that fucking simple, because... Oh, what's her name? Elisar?
Mm-hmm.
Fey Witch. Set those up.
Wasn't it Asandra?
Asandra. Is it Asandra?
Yeah, with the... I believe so. Oh, yes. The Asandra.
Asandra.
Asandra, yeah.
Oh, right, because Saturday it's Asandra. And then in this campaign it's Sandra. It's the A one.
Curse
Saturday's
me
E.
for just writing down names willy-nilly and not realizing how close they are to other things. And yeah, okay.
I was like, it can't be exactly the same. No, okay, yeah. Yeah, heavy magic that sucks. Wait, so but he noticed you through.
He might be Dragonborn, but he is not entirely chromatic. He is pulled a different direction from the metallic bonds of another color.
So he's a black, but he's also a different color at the same time.
He's a hybrid. And she kind of like focuses a little bit more black and copper. Interesting. Torn between the righteous and the damned. Explains the conflict I sense.
Is she still scried on him?
Yeah, she seems to still be like hovering around where his thoughts and emotions and whatnot.
Okay.
Which would kind of fall in back with the first time you guys met him on the first rescuing of Nyla. How he, even though he was under orders, he was under the Drakhorn's spell, he still refused to fight. There's been, you're kind of putting together more of the times he seemed defiant to his nature. You know, it's unusual for a black dragonborn to surrender himself, but it's not unlikely for a copper dragon to do that. Like there's this conflict of all how he's been acting, you know, how he tried to apologize and whatnot. Not necessarily known as a black dragon, but coppers will do that. Like they're, you
Right.
you have two bloods in him. One that can get pulled by the forces of evil, and one that is always standing for was generally good. Coppers are generally really good natured. So part of them is pulled by the Drakhorn, but there's another part that seems to be fighting every step of the way.
Okay.
She eventually hands the item back,
I'll take it back and put it back on.
expressing that
Thank
she is out of spoons for anymore.
Yeah, no, I will give the lovely little donation to her directly, because that was. Do I know how much her services usually cost people?
Depending on levels, she charges anywhere between 1 and 10 gold half the time.
Cool. I'm gonna give her 10 platinum
Oh shit.
straight up, because yeah, Garel is. Garel is just. Yeah, Garel just gave me a fuckload of information. Yeah, so I'll drop that. Just be like, thank you. That actually answers a lot of questions all at once. Kirk, so what'd you sense from Kirk though? Did you sense any of his feelings, or was it just
She was mostly scrying to try to get his location.
okay?
But as far as like emotions, she really couldn't pull much. Like whatever has him fully has him.
Mhm.
Which is why she was surprised that it was this dragonborn that seems to be in conflict.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I will thank her and apologize again for punching her in the arm.
Mhm. It needed to be done.
Didn't. All she said was he knows, and Cecile was like, "That's 2 people in there, one of which we know for a fact is evil, the other
And
which
only to
with what
find
she
out
said
that
is
there's a
fully-
third. Yeah, only to find out that there's another person in there
third
that like
another, yeah."
spooked her by being all like, I see you, without actually saying anything.
Does Sludge even have that type of ability, or is it tied into the contract thing?
No, it would have just been probably more of that like that fighter's instinct that
Mm-hmm.
Kirk was suddenly not, Kirk is still
Very
doing
still.
whatever he was doing, but he was almost like that feeling like when you're being watched kind of thing. Like he
Right.
had that intuition of like, son, what are you doing, Kirk? And then it was just like, okay, cool. But it wasn't like and it wasn't like an attack or anything like that. It was just like he got up in his face and Sister Girl was like, oh shit. And
Right, yeah.
then like lost the connection that way. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll thank her.
as you are getting your gear back on and whatever you end up taking off and whatnot, she kind of was like, one last parting thing. This she didn't necessarily like ask for names or anything like that. This other person you had me sense, even though mentioning of him your face went sour, I don't think it's as bad as you think. I don't think he is as bad as you think.
Oh, the Black Dragonborn?
Mm-hmm. Like
Oh,
this,
man.
she's going back on the second he mentioned like the description of what you identified as sledge, and just kind of went like, oh shit, kind of like your face would have gotten all like sour and all pissed off. And she's like, from
my
what
face
I've
is
said,
conflicted anytime he comes
yeah,
up. So
and she's just like kind of like trying to give you that little gesture of like, okay, I know you, his description made you disgusted, but what I sense kind of conflicts with what your face looked like.
gotcha. Okay. I was kind of nod. Like, yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. And this actually helped.
Excellent.
I gotta find my party member because what? It's been an hour, maybe.
Oh yeah, it's
Two
about the
surprise
time.
bells, catch up with Harbin,
About
catch
this
up with
time, Alyssa's marched out of the administration office and is booking it to wherever you're at. So by the time you leave the tower, you'd see Alyssa come in like, you have been looking for it. You're probably going to be like, and you have been looking for it. We got information. So yeah, you guys meet up. You guys meet up right outside the Axholm front doors.
I tell Cecile everything that Harbin told me in regards to.
Yeah.
I can't remember names.
Sledge.
Well, not Sledge.
Oh, Remy.
Remy. But why did I want to say Tolly for some reason? And ask. Anyway, yeah, I relay all that information and like, yeah. So
where the fuck her operative went? Garel's out of spoons. So I have good news and bad news. Both found Kirk and didn't find Kirk, if that makes sense.
He's alive?
Yeah,
I'll
but
take
yeah, that's
Good enough.
Cecile will give
I
Alyssa
bet.
this
Say no
look
more.
of like he's not himself and he's with Severin.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah. And I don't mean with as in like the proverbial he's in the area and under Severin's rule. Like he was in the room with Severin. It's some tall woman.
Oh, motherfucker.
They're armoring him up. He's not. Garel said he's not him. They've got a solid
What the fuck would they be armoring
control
him
over
up
him.
for?
That's my question. Nothing good. Also should be
Probably
noted.
leverage against us.
Also should be noted. She commented the feather I gave her, which vaporized at the end of everything, had enough power to power a building for a day, Tim?
For a month.
For a month. That single feather I gave her.
Yeah, that sounds like Zapdos. Okay.
But it means that he could have killed me in that tower. If he wasn't fighting whatever was trying to take him. I would have been dead, point blank.
He's dangerous.
So he was trying to fight it. He's still in there, but they've got a really solid lock. But there's something deep down in him that will still recognize us, which is good. Also, Sledge is with him there. But
Figures.
Garel, Sledge isn't just a black dragonborn. Sledge is both a black and a copper, which are not.
They don't mesh.
They're two different halves of the dragon.
Is that why he came to us one time? It was like, "Hey, I need your help." After we were like,
Yeah.
"Fuck you." Okay.
Yeah, basically, he's still at war with himself, even though he's there, because Black Dragon half is trying to go with all the orders, but the Copper Dragon half is fighting against that.
Yeah.
Hence him trying to help them, but then not being there for the attack. Granted, everybody got called. I don't know about the operative. Do I know the operative's name? Tim?
Nope.
Would I know? Cool.
You only know of the operative as a person that Remy talks about when, like, the last couple of times you've met with Remy, she's talked about, like, she's got somebody out keeping an eye on things and stuff like that. That's who you pretty much know as the operative.
Right. You said Remy hasn't heard from him.
Right.
Correct.
I want. Just trying to figure out. So the other half of this is if the operative is also in that general area. The thing Garel mentioned was that it's kind of hazy. Like there's kind of some blocking going on. Either by the dragons or wherever they are. It was in some sort of fortress up north, was all Garel could give me.
A fortress up north.
Yeah. But she's never seen it.
Yeah,
She's
okay,
like she's
that'll
got no
narrow it
clue.
down.
Which means it's not in the upper sections of Neverwinter, at least. You know, it's not above ground. Like, my guess is it's not above ground.
Yeah. Wait.
And then there was some tall lady.
That makes sense, but it doesn't make sense at the same time. Why would you gather a bunch of dragons and dragonborns underground? Or in a mountain?
If you want to hide it. If you're
Yeah,
expecting
but
dragons, you look up in the sky. You look
yeah, but
up.
they're also at a weakness being trapped in something like that.
I mean, they might not all be in there, and for all I know, there are more. Oh, right. Cecile backtracks a bit. It's like Garel mentioned with the flight of dragons and things. Apparently, they all went inside and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
For a few days because over the course of 2 days, like 6 dragons flew overhead, and that's just in this area.
Oh, mother of God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
But like I said, it's all she said was some sort of fortress. There was a fire in the hearth, which is why my brain says, like you said, hearth, right, Tim? It's like ground, like dirt, like dirty type stuff, which is why Cecile's
like a hearth would be like a large fireplace.
Yeah.
Did
Did Garel get underground vibes?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. She didn't get underground vibes, but I don't know. But yeah, there's some sort of interference. Which is probably why if the operative tried to follow Sledge towards that area and fell into the interference realm and is trying to get sendings out or something like that, they might not be getting out. I think the scry only worked because of whatever slot Garel used. And the fact that I gave her a feather of Kirk's to latch onto him.
Yeah.
So.
Fizzled.
But then Sledge could tell that Garel was in there, apparently.
Yeah. This motherfucker needs to pick a side. But
she said that it's not as she said a lot of stuff, but I'm gonna need a lot of drinking and a lot of screaming to sort that out.
We need to get back to the others and get them heads up, and we have a lot to fucking plan for. Oh my God. We gotta send back as many materials for the blacksmiths as we can because look at this, and she shows Cecile her battle axe is like, look at these babies, look at how pretty they are. And he's
Cecile
like,
doesn't necessarily understand like the blood stuff or whatever with it, but like she probably grasps a little bit. But she's doing the like balancing. It's like, oh yeah, no, they do good work.
They're
like, flipping it
perfect.
in her hand, just like perfect.
Just wait till you see what they do.
Twist. Ooh.
Yeah, just wait till you see what they do. But I gotta be careful with them though. They're special.
Careful in what way?
So you see these crystals? If
Yeah.
they fill up with blood and health
Whose
per
blood?
se, mine.
Oh,
And
okay.
if I get up to 5. I
Mhm.
I have to be careful because if I fail, everyone's an enemy. I believe the Hammer Twins called it draconic bloodlust. So
Cecile's just gonna
I
start
gotta be
laughing.
careful.
No. Cecile just straight up starts laughing because Cecile's dealt with barbarians and similar weapons, but also it's the fact that like Cecile's seeing the parallels between this conversation and then the Timbers conversation where Timbers was like, "Hey, I have to be careful with this thing I can do because I might
Yeah.
accidentally kill the whole party. Can you take me out if that happens?" And now I'm getting, I have to be careful because everybody might be
Wait,
Cecile's
what
just
conversation was that?
laughing.
Yeah. So I'm just
It's
like,
just like that. Yeah,
It's
nope, that
kind
tracks.
of like that. So yeah, we'll see.
So got it. You go off the handle, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Kick your ass. Is that what I'm getting?
If you can, yes.
Okay, cool.
Here's another thing. Each crystal that fills, the
Mhm.
damage increases.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cecile's like, Cecile's not judging. Cecile's just like another party member with, the oh shit switch somewhere in them.
Yeah.
It's just,
I'll do my best to not get to that point though.
yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
see what happens.
We're
Don't
fighting
flip
dragons.
that
I'm not
switch.
gonna hold my breath. It's fine. Yeah. Are we telling the rest of the party? Because that's your
Don't know
choice. I
yet. I
gave
don't
Timbers
know
the choice
yet.
until I had to kick his ass. So that's my
I
one
don't-
caveat. If I have to kick your ass to get you out of it, I'm gonna make you tell everyone.
Yeah. Let's see how this
You want to
first fight
continue
goes
that?
with them.
Okay, cool.
We're gonna see how this first fight goes, and then we'll go into it.
Sounds good. Okay.
Yep.
Well, let's hold out hand.
Sure,
go.
don't tell your sister.
Okay, here you go. I just kind of latched on.
Slap. Go. Back to the other.
And teleport back.
With axes.
With
And info.
battle axe. One battle axe. One axe on each side. One on each hip.
Mm.
It's holstered.
As we're like right before we go, Cecile's like, next time we have a decent amount of time, I'm gonna visit the twins and see I can spruce up my plate a little bit.
Oh yes, please, please. If you need anything, go talk to them. I've given them a
I
handsome
mean, it's
tip.
already
They
a
will
mithril
be
plate.
willing.
But for it to be just a little bit better, would be great.
Scribble libbles. It's a bunch
Yep.
of scribbles.
So yeah,
Directions.
it's very easy to tell that by the time you guys are getting back, like everyone's waiting, like, can we like close up the keep so we can like go now? Like they knew that you guys were going, but you guys are coming back right as everyone's like, okay, let's go. Okay, let's go. And so yeah, the party, you see them pop in and they come running out of the keep because the teleportation circle's inside and they didn't necessarily want to close up. They close the big old doors. A couple of people stay behind, like guard and whatnot, and they latch. You hear the big old bolt latching it as the caravan is getting ready to take off. And there's 2 carts side by side, split enough for a couple of you can stay on either one. And
I take
once
it
you
some of
guys,
the parties in the carts, more or less.
I figured, yeah, this party is split between the 2 carts.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll come out. Yeah. She's like, all right, let's go.
All right, and then yeah, the group.
Everyone's in the carts, right, Nyla? Nyla.
Nyla.
She just went from unmuted to.
Sorry, I was eating. I had food in my mouth that I couldn't talk.
You're in the cart, right?
What happened? Sorry,
So
my
there's
focus
a
was on food.
caravan on the way to the Misty Forest to bring reinforcements and to take the fight there.
Are we hiding in the caravan?
Not hiding.
All right, then yeah, Nintendo's basically gonna use just whip out that rain one night and just summon the ghost horse. I have not used it in a
If
That's
Cecile
right.
if Cecile sees Nyla not in the cart, there's gonna be that like, no, come on.
If I have to, I will drag her behind the ghost horse.
Nah, no. Like if Nyla's not in the cart, I don't know. Like you said, Nyla wasn't talking to the people so much. Cecile did do talking with the people. So if Nyla's not in the cart to go with the caravan, Cecile's going to go find her, or leave it for Alyssa. Don't know which of us.
Where is Nyla?
We're not on a map with Nyla.
Oh,
But-
okay. She would not necessarily be in the cart. She would most likely be making her way towards it. She
Okay.
was just doing her final rounds of checking in on people, seeing what they needed, and trying to see what she can do to better help. So she's not really focused on leaving yet.
Well, I mean, it's the caravans that aren't going to be leaving that we're leaving with, so basically.
Yeah, she'll like slowly make her way over to the area and look at Cecile and go, so what's next?
We are going to the Misty Forest. I'm just sticking a hand out of the cart. It's like, come on. Come on.
She'll like look at the cart, then look at back at her people. She's not like gonna say no, she's not gonna leave, but she's like giving like that one kind of look before she.
Cecile, rather than explaining what the people said or anything like that, Cecile's just gonna give them time. Time. They went from a good setup to an evil person, and they got to recover from that. We have dragons to fight.
Just gives out like a dry chuckle. Sometimes I wish I should have been a better leader had I stayed. Then she grabs her hand and like pulls herself upwards onto the thing.
You say that, and Cecile immediately responds with, yes, and then your uncle would have killed you too.
Before she'll like give a nod and everything, but she'll like real quick, Badger, are there any other like any of the gnome guards that Nyla could see?
Gnome guard? Yeah, there's
Or not gnome guards, but like a commander or two.
Yeah, there's a bunch that left with going back to the city, and then there's one or two that are part of the caravan.
She'll like hop off the caravan, go to one of the leaders or one of the generals, and she'll kind of like give a awkward wave and be like, hey, how are you?
But you said, how are you?
Yeah.
I'm good. It's been rough going, but
The awkward trying to talk. How are
Yeah.
I see just Cal just
She like kind of like taps her foot on the ground, then kind of gives up like this not demanding presence, but more like a assertive kind of look to it. Look, I know I have no right to ask of you for anything when we get down to this, or have any experience leading up. but I have an idea. When we get there, maybe set up a camp that's set off away from the battle and make it our place of healing in case our soldiers did hurt, and I'd like to be there for that.
I'm not sure. I know from the other commanders, we're going to be establishing all sorts of things once we get there. But if I figure out which one will have any kind of healing center, I will let you know.
She'll like give a small smile and hold her hand to shake. Thank you, and I hope to see you out there.
You as well.
After that, she'll walk back to Cecile and kind of look at her and say, I don't think I'll necessarily be in the fight. I want to stay back. I want to be there to at least help the people if in case they get hurt.
Cecile will be like, healing is still part of being the fight. You get that, right? Keep the people who are fighting still up. They can keep fighting.
But no, like, how do you are out of character? It's like one of those. What is it? You know those like in like the they have like those like immediate cares. If that
No.
makes sense.
I get what you're saying. You're talking about combat triage, and
Yeah, that's what she's wanting to do. That's how I'm trying to word it.
okay. I mean, this is a 2-day ride or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nyla's going
You
with
got
us
the
in the
next
caravan. Like she's
48
coming with us to the
hours.
Misty Forest.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So like she's not staying back here. She's still coming with us. So
Mhm.
basically, I've got 2 days to just be like explain like 2 or 3 that like first I'm gonna explain the Misty Forest and how fucked trying to navigate that place is in the first place. Like there is no we set up trauma center here and we bring people back to here because sometimes the here's in a different place. Like Cecile will explain that. Sometimes things are not where you left them in this forest. Point blank.
Mm-hmm.
So any healing has got to be mobile and going with the fighting no matter what. It's the only way that this works in this type of forest.
One of these
2,
things doesn't belong here.
Cecile's gonna go dirty with this. Cecile's gonna play dirty. And play on guilt. And look at Nyla and be like, exactly how are you gonna take it if you find out that Alyssa, Hydrune, or Timbers ends up dying out on the field while you had spell slots sitting here in a tent and could have changed that.
At that point, you could tell Nyla's like she like opens her mouth to say something, but then closes it. Like you could tell she's thinking about it.
Like, yeah, we have Alita. Alita is a wonderful healer. The thing about warfare is healers get attacked first. Targeting the healer is the easiest way to that's my spook's face. Like Cecile slips into full like battle strategy.
Right.
It's like it's one thing if you're fighting with 2 armies and both armies are following the rules of the theater of war. That's one thing. We're fighting an evil army fighting to bring back Tiamat. They don't care about those rules. I were somebody in that position, first people I take out are the casters and the healers. Point blank.
Hey, Cecile.
Mhm.
While you're talking and speeching, throw me a perception check.
Cool. Yeah. She's being blunt. I'm doing a bit of a wake-up call for Nyla. Perception check. Can't use
While
use
you're
that.
having your villain monologue,
Shh.
You don't say
11.
shit.
I mean, my passive is 21.
You don't say shit.
Passive perception.
Arguably, that would be the thing if I'm having a conversation with somebody.
But yeah. As you're like talking with Nyla off of like the corner of your eye, you're kind of like pinned and watching you two talking is Alyssa. Just like you can sense like the 1,000 stare death glare to Nyla. Something definitely seems off with Alyssa.
Oh yeah, my passive would pick that up.
Uh-huh.
If I've got passive going, I can feel eyeballs. Not on me, but it's that like
I mean,
ray
whether you guys
effect.
are in the same cart or she's in the cart next to you, she's close enough to be in earshot of all this. So you just kind of happen to glance
Alyssa
over
be in
and
the
she's
same cart?
just staring. Huh?
Would Alyssa be in the same cart?
Probably.
After all the shit that Nyla has been pulling lately, yes.
Which is part of the reason why Cecile pulled Nyla. It's just like, you have to stay with us. But yeah. But Cecile is being very, because Nyla's talked about like wishing to stay and be a leader and all of that jazz. And while Cecile hasn't been a leader of a city or a town, Cecile's done a lot of battles and a good chunk of large scale ones. So Cecile is like, you talk about there's a triage center, Misty Forests. That's not how that works. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if basically one of these caravan wagons gets turned into one that's mobile that goes with the fighting, kinda. And again, yeah, we've got Alita. But at the same time, just automatically assuming, oh, we've got a dedicated healer, we're fine. Dedicated healer gets taken out, or at least knocked out. Kind of fucked. So. Well, I'm perfectly sure Alita can handle herself. Probably. More than likely, that sunbeam was wicked.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, as you're noticing something seems off with Alyssa, you remember a little flashback back at Waterdeep. An argument that Alyssa and Nyla had where Alyssa told Nyla never be fit for ruling and smashed the table into pieces. Like, you remember that, and that's like the same energy that you're sensing out of Alyssa. Is this like, if it wasn't for a cart and the fact that they're in motion to a war, there would be a lot of table smashing going on right about now. If not, maybe heads going through said tables.
A lot of this is Cecile being like, I am literally your last fucking ward. I'm not gonna stop Alyssa, but I'm gonna try and wake up your brain, Nyla.
Nyla, insight check.
Before you do that.
Insight check.
Insight on who?
Just an insight check.
It doesn't matter for me because I'm probably not hiding the fact of like I'm giving you a wake up call, but I'm not the one you should be concerned about in this caravan right now.
Why are you? Hang on.
So glad I have these now. I found legitimate token pictures for all the
Mhm.
council members.
Ooh, fancy.
Fancy schmancy, yes.
Oh, is this marker? Oh yeah, that marker up there is this. Oh hey, the giants are nearby. It'd take a hot minute to get to them, but
Relax. Don't break your mouse.
Okay. Wisdom.
Pulling out the dice.
Yep. Yeah.
I just there's that.
That's that D20. 20.
You know what would help me notify that I get messages and things? If my watch was actually on.
That D20? No, that's a D10.
It's like,
Uh-huh.
damn
That
it.
is D20.
You know how many times I'd put this watch on and gone to work, and it's not until I got home to take it off and put it down for the night that I realized I'd never turned it on the whole day.
Yep. I can't tell you how many times I'll slip this motherfucker on.
I got.
And none of my rings will close because I didn't unlock
Oh, now you
it.
fucking roll.
24.
24.
I got a fucking nat 1 here.
I'm sorry, Perma. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the dice.
Bullshit.
Okay, well, regardless,
this.
that's
Look
a
at this.
pretty damn nice insight check.
Don't show evidence that
No?
you rolled. Get that out of there.
I
Keep
didn't
the
see
pure insight.
anything. I
You
didn't
hit
see
the
anything.
button. You hit the button on in
Like I
the
said,
app
Cecile's
before you rolled the
not
physical.
being subtle, and Cecile has a whopping, what is it, 6 charisma. So if I'm picking up on vibes, probably
Nyla, you're constantly trying to pull yourself out of the group, trying to pull yourself out of the fight. But every single, like, you can just see this eyes all on you from every member of the group that's in both anger and worry that you're just going to up and leave them. Nyla, whether it be Nyla the Bard, Nyla the Filer, Nyla the Healer, you realize that you've been such an integral part of this entire group that the thought of you leaving, regardless of what you think you want to leave for, you want to help your people, you want to help this, like you talk about wanting to go heal your gnome compatriots, but then that's basically telling your group, well, I'm not going to be here for you. And that's that sensing of anger that you're picked, especially off of Alyssa. The more you talk about wanting to go do other things, the more you're basically saying, hey, this family, fuck you guys. And that's what they're feeling off of it. And so regardless of how well people can articulate it, you can sense that no matter what happens, they want Nyla to stay, they want Nyla to be happy, and they want Nyla close for both to protect you and to have you protect them. I mean, you're still the wielder of the Dragon Slayer sword, for Christ's sake. And Cecile is trying to talk Nyla up like you should be in the forefront of this army marching your people towards fucking dragon victory. Kill all those flying rat bastards. But regardless, you guys begin your march. And this now begins the next 2 days of how well will the caravan make it to the Misty Forest in time. But as a great place to stop for this time, we will pick up next week and the beginning of this 2-day march.
Oh,
So
at the
that being
beginning
said-
of it? Never mind. what I was
You
gonna
guys
ask
are,
then.
as of right now, you guys are leaving Mithril Hall. They have come back from their teleportation visit to Blackfall. And they've
Well,
hopped in the caravan, and the caravan is now starting to go chugga 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 along the road.
Well, I thought it was going to be like another 2-day time skip thing. So I was going to ask something, but when you said beginning of, I'm like, nope, never mind. That question is now null and
Nope. Next session will be the 2-day travel and shenanigans.
Yo.
So with that being said, I want to say good night to Kicking YouTube, and we will see you guys hopefully next week. Not sure how gaming is going to be with the holidays coming up and New Year's coming up and all that fun stuff, but we'll kind of we'll tweak it if we have to wait till New Year's or whatnot. We'll wait till New Year's, but until then,
Yeah.
we're gonna say good night for now, and until next week or when we do it again. Keep tabs. We'll let you know. Regardless,
Keep
Monday,
it
same bat place, same bat time. We'll go from there. Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.